Good evening, dear students. This is your Sir Sajid. In previous class, as you know that we are discussing about some 3 mark questions. In that 27th question, that is, what is the nuclear energy? What are the hazards of nuclear power generation that we have discussed, right? So, nuclear energy, we have discussed that the energy that released by the nuclear process is called nuclear energy. That we have discussed about nuclear fission and fusion also. That you need not to write here, but you need to write only 1 mark. 1 mark question it is. That is what is nuclear energy. The energy released by the nuclear process is called nuclear energy. And then hazards we have discussed. The radiation emitted by the very harmful and can cause disorders which may cause genetic disorders also. Next point of hazards is storage and disposal of spent and used fuels, right? And next third point we have discussed is a high cost of installation and storage, right? So one more or question is there in that. So what's the or question? List the 4 characters of good source of energy. Name any 2 source of energy which are dependent on solar energy, right? So this we have discussed in sources of energy. This is one of the easy question. So what are the characters of the good source of energy? So you know that it should be easily available, easily transported, and easy to store, right? So what we call it as fuel. Fuel is something we use it for to create an energy, especially the heat energy, right? So in order to say some characters of fuel, the good as a we can consider it as a good source of energy. So what are the qualities it must have, that we have discussed in the classes also, but here we can write it as a points we'll write it. So these the 4 characteristics of good source of energy. What are the characteristics of good source of energy? We can say that. So good source of energy, it should be, we know that some of the characters of good source of energy. So it should be the first point. We can say that the first point we can say it should be easily available, right? Should be easily available. The first point, easily available, right? First point, easily available. Second point will be easy to use. Easy to use, right? So children, you know that the first point is easily available. So source is some the energy source, it should be something which is easily available. For example, the good source of energy, we can say that in our houses we use the LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, and that liquefied petroleum gas, it is easily available, right? Right, and easy to use. It's just easy to use. For example, we just connect it to the stove and you can use it, and it produces the less exhaust to the environment, right? And it is very easy as compared to the wood, right? And environment friendly, you know that. For example, if we take an example of LPG, again, that is, it is environment friendly because it won't produce much exhaust. Easy to transport, right? The fourth point, you can say that it is easy, it should be easy to transport. We can easily transport the source of energy, right? This is the 4 points just now we have discussed. So first point is easily available, easy to use. Okay, so first point is, you can say that what are the 4 points. So the first point will be easily available. Okay, first point. Second point, easy to use, right? And then we can say that the third point is environmental friendly, right? Environmental environmental friendly. What do you mean by the environmental friendly? Environmental friendly, it does mean that it won't produce much exhaust to the environment. It won't spoils the exhaust environment. For example, we cannot even imagine in our kitchen we keep our wood and we can cook our food. So it's very difficult. Outside area we can do that, but at the kitchen we cannot do that, because the more exhaust which is produced from the burning of wood, so we cannot even breathe also in inside the kitchen if you do that, right? So we use LPG, so it is environmental friendly, right? So because it won't produce much exhaust and easy to transport, this is also important thing, which is easy to transport. We can easily carry or transport from one place to the another place, right? So next part of the question is, name any two sources of energy which are dependent on solar energy, right? So sources of energy depend upon the solar energy are photovoltaic cells, right? Photovoltaic cells means nothing but solar cells. So we can say that some energy sources which are depend upon the solar energy are first we can say that the solar cells first one, and second one we can say that he says that name two sources of energy: thermal energy, fossil fuels. Even thermal energy and fossil fuels. Children, you might have get little bit confused how thermal energy will be the depend upon the solar energy. Remember children, we call it as a natural transformation of a solar energy. For example, how fossil fuels and thermal energy, nothing but coal and petroleum, correct? So you know that due to the sun rays, when they falls on the surface of earth, right, you know that the plants grows, right, and plant prepare the food in presence of the sunlight. The process is called photosynthesis. And when I told you this in a regular classes, that because of some natural disasters thousands of years ago, these green plants are nothing but the living organisms get embedded on the earth crust, right? Embedded on the earth crust, right? Earth crust suppose, and over a long period of time they become the fossils, right? Fossil fuels, right? So we can say that it is a natural transformation of a solar energy. We can say that this is also the natural transformation of solar energy, right? Got it. So as far as solar cells are concerned, it is very simple. Due to the photoelectric effect, the when sunlight is falls on the solar cells, okay, the electrons are get ejected from the solar cells, and these electrons constitute the current, right? So this is also a natural source of a solar energy, right? So I hope you understood the answer. So we can say the answer that the good source of energy is nothing but energy, the source of energy which is easily available, easy to use, environmental friendly, easy to transport. And then sources of energy which are depend upon the solar energy are, first one is photovoltaic cells, or you can write solar cells, and also thermal energy and fossil fuels, right? This much you have to write for the 3 mark. Next is 28th question, which says that when this is little bit hided, I'm just going to write. When sulfuric acid is added to the 1 gram solid sodium chloride taken in a test tube, which gas is released? Okay, try to understand the question. When sulfuric acid, nothing but which acid? Sulfuric acid means which is, sorry, I'll take another color. Okay, yellow will be the good one. So sulfuric acid, we know that, which is nothing but H2SO4, right? Sulfuric acid, when which is taken in 1 gram of, right, 1 gram of solid sodium. What is present in that? Sodium, Na, correct? Solid sodium, you know that sodium is a metal, and when we add acid to it, right, we have discussed in a metal chapter, when we add acid to it, right, so what happens in a test tube? Which gas is released? First question is, right? So sulfuric acid, look at here, when a sulfuric acid is added to 1 gram of solid sodium inside that, solid sodium, right? So solid sodium means there is an absence of moisture here, moisture, right? You know that in the dry solid sodium, the acid do not react. So we can say that the first point as a dry sulfuric acid, when we add it dry, when we, and next question we try to see that what changes do you observe when you test a gas with a dry and a wet litmus paper? What conclusion do you draw by this experiment? Okay, so H2SO4 plus, you know that when sulfuric acid is reacts to the metals, the hydrogen gas is liberated, right? This, you know that hydrogen gas is liberated. When the hydrogen gas is liberated, suppose H2 gas is liberated, we can test with the dry litmus paper and a wet litmus paper, right? So dry litmus paper doesn't show any color change, you know that, because in absence of hydronium ions, it won't show any, no change in color, right? In this litmus paper there is no change in color. Wet litmus paper changes to red color. So wet litmus paper it changes to red color, right? This litmus paper it changes to red color. So this will be the blue litmus paper. Okay, it won't change its color. This will be the blue litmus paper. It won't change its color because absence of hydronium ions. So here the blue litmus paper, in the second case wet litmus paper changes blue to red, right? Wet blue litmus paper changes to red color. This shows that it is acidic in nature. Okay, this shows that it is acidic in nature. So we can say the conclusion of it. So what conclusion we can say? When acid reacts with the salts from another acid and salts, acids show their presence only in aqueous form. Means aqueous means water form, right? Acids show their presence only in aqueous form, right? Got it. So finally, we just try to understand it once again. I'll just tell you the answer of it. So answer, you can say that when hydrogen gas is liberated, the first point, hydrogen gas is liberated. Second point, dry litmus paper doesn't show any color change. Second point it is, right? And third point is wet blue litmus paper changes to red color. Fourth point is this shows that it is acidic in nature. This shows that it is acidic in nature. So conclusion you have to write at the end. Conclusion: when acid reacts with the salts to form another acid and salt. Okay, first point in that. Second point, acids show their presence only in aqueous form. Right, second point will be acids show their presence only in aqueous form. And children, one more OR question is given in 28th one OR question, and that let's try to see that was the OR question. The pH value of four solutions A, B, C, D. Right, let's try to write this pH value of solution A. I'll change a different color. Okay, let's try to take the pink color, right? A, B, C, and D. Let's suppose A, B, C, D are 5, 12, 8, and 9 respectively. 5, 12, 8, and 9 respectively, right? In an increasing order of their hydroxyl ions concentration, which solution among them has a strong acidic property? Okay, explain what happens if our mouth contains the pH of solution A. Right. See, children, this is very simple question. For that, you need to know the pH scale. Right, pH scale. So this is the pH scale. Suppose, just tell you. Suppose this is a pH scale. Right, pH scale. So 7 is a neutral. This is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and this is up to 8. Okay, 9, 10, 11, up to 14 it is, right? So we'll just take up to 10, 11. So pH scale, potential hydrogen, pH scale. Children, you know that pH scale in which 7 is a neutral, right? This 7 is a neutral. As you come down from the 7, okay, it will be more acidic. So 6 is less acidic, 5 is more acidic than the 6, and in the same way 4 is more acidic than the 5, 3 is more acidic than the 4, 2 is more acidic than the 3, and 1 is more acidic than the 2, right? So here 8 is a less neutral, 9 is more neutral, 10 is more neutral. Here in this way 11 is more neutral than the 10, right? So this is all about the pH scale. So here it's very simple question. There are 4 substances which are given A, B, C, D, which has a pH value 5, 12, 8, and 9 respectively, right? 5, 12, 8, and 9 respectively. So here first A substance is it's acidic because less than the 7, and B is base, okay, right? C is also base, and 9 is also base because it is more than a 7. So these are all our bases. Got it? So here the first for the answer we can say that how we can able to write this. We can easily write this. A is a sorry. Yeah, sorry. So we can easily write the answer that A is greater than C, and because A is acidic, you know that A's value is 5. A is greater than C, right? I just write once again, that is values A, B, C, D. A is 5, 12, 8, and 9. A is greater than C, correct? A is greater than C, 8. And then C is greater than D. C is greater than D, correct? And D is greater than B because B is a higher value, right? So here you can see that A is highly acidic, right? So strong acid property, we can say that. Next question, which is the strong acid property? So strong acid property is equal to A, correct? A is a which is having a strong acidic property. Got it? So next we can say that acid medium in the mouth indicates as oxygen deprived environment, which puts our teeth at risk for demineralization and cavities. Tooth enamels gets corroded. right? We have discussed in previous in our regular classes this. When more acid is present, right, you know that the acidity which is less than the 5 or less than 5, which cause the more acid in the mouth. For example, we use every day, we brush our teeth with the toothpaste, and children, you know that we use the toothpaste only. The reason behind is toothpaste is a basic substance, right? When it is mixes with the acid, it neutralizes and it can protect our teeth. Got it? That's the reason we use paste. Paste is a basic. For examples, in olden days, the people used to have neems, sticks, right, to brush their teeth. Neem is also, right, the neem, toothpicks or neem sticks also having a base in nature, basic in nature. So they minimize the acidity in our mouth, and due to that reason, the mouth teeth will be get protected, right? It's very simple. For example, just imagine that in your mouth cavity, okay, in your mouth cavity there are a lot of acid is present, and when we use the base for it, okay, acid plus base, you guessed, salt plus water, correct? Salt plus water. So basic salt is present, it gives us the basic salt, means it becomes neutralizes. That's the reason we can protect our teeth all of the mouth. So that's the reason we brush every day. So sometimes due to we eat the so many things, so because of that reason, so microorganisms which excretes the acids in our mouth, and when the pH level of acid in our mouth which goes less or equal to 5, then it can slowly start spoiling our, spoil our teeth, right? So that's the reason we use the base. So what exactly the answer you need to write here? So answer you have to write only one, this just read out for you the answer, kindly note down it. Answer is increasing order of their hydroxyl ions concentration, that is A is greater than C, that is, as I told you, A is greater than C, then greater than B, greater than D. Okay, so this will write it. So next point, strong acidic property is equal to A, because A has 5 which is acid. A is 5 which is acid. So next point we write strong acid property is equal to A. Next point we write, next point he asked about what conclusion do you draw by this experiment. So we write there, acidic medium in your mouth indicates as oxygen deprived environment, right, which puts our teeth at risk for demineralization and cavities, comma, tooth enamels get corroded. Okay, we have to write the conclusion. Corroded means spoils. Okay, tooth enamel get corroded. Got it? So this is the 28th question we have discussed just now, 3 mark. I hope you understood the question. And next we shall discuss about 30th question, right? 30th question, which is related to the biology. Sorry, 28th question we have discussed. No, 29th question we'll discuss. 29th question. So what is the 29th question, which is pertaining to the biology? Write the functions of a forebrain, comma, medulla and a cerebellum in human brain. So you need to write it, explain it. So forebrain, what you have to write first? Functions of the forebrain. Forebrain controls the temperature, comma, reproductive tune hearing. Kindly write down very neatly. Forebrain, side heading, controls temperature, comma, reproductive, tune hearing, comma, smell, comma, eating, comma, sleeping, and display of emotions, display of emotions, water balance in a body, display of emotions, comma, water balance in a body, comma, hunger, etc. So these are the functions of the forebrain. So let's try to see the another side heading, medulla. And functions of medulla are involuntary activities like respiration, comma, heartbeat, comma, movement of oesophagism. I think your biology teacher has explained about it. Movement of oesophagism. I'll just read out the spelling of it. OEZOPHASM. Oesophagism. I hope that I'm pronouncing it correctly. Comma, secretion of engyons. I'll read out the spelling. ENGYONES. Engyons, etc. Okay, so this is all about a medulla. And next part is cerebellum, side heading, cerebellum. Cerebellum is maintains posture and balance of the body. Maintains posture and maintains posture, POSTURE, posture. Maintains posture and balance of the body. Okay. So next question is 30th question, which is pertaining from the chemistry. So up to 30, 31, 32. Okay, these questions, these 3 mark questions we shall discuss in our next class. So till then, children, kindly go through the video and then kindly write down. I hope you are writing neatly in your notes, and study well and read the textbooks, and we shall continue in the next class. So till then, children, take care and bye bye.